How can Americans have a Catholic wedding in Italy? Hi and welcome to the Legal Wedding Planner, a firm created by legal consultants and wedding planners based in Italy. There is a specific legal framework that applies when US citizens want to get married in a Catholic church in Italy. It involves coordination between the Catholic Church and Italian and US public authorities. The first option is a religious Catholic ceremony only. The second option is a Catholic wedding with full legal effect, both in Italy and in the US. It is called matrimonio concordatario. Let's start with the first option, that is a Catholic ceremony in Italy with no legal effect. This is purely a church wedding that is valid under canon law. In most cases, Italian dioceses will require that you are already legally married in the US before allowing this type of ceremony. The Italian Church will certainly require the pre-cana course, the baptism, the nil obstat of your bishop, and sometimes the confirmation. Once the documents are collected, your parish priest in the US sends them through church official channels to the Italian diocese. At that point, the ceremony can take place in the church you have chosen in Italy. Please be aware that this kind of ceremony has no legal value in either Italy or the US. For some couples, this is perfectly acceptable, but if your goal is to have one ceremony that is also legally valid, this is not the right option. The second option is what makes Italy unique. It allows you to have one single ceremony in the Catholic Church that has both legal and religious value. This is called matrimonio concordatario. The first step is the church preparation in the US, which follows the same structure we have seen before. The second step takes place in the United States Consulate in Italy. The American citizens do not need a traditional nulla osta. Instead, they sign a sworn affidavit before a US consular officer. Once the affidavit is countersigned by the US consular officer, it must be legalized at the competent Prefettura. After that, we move to the Italian court for the atto notorio. In the same way as the affidavit sworn before a US consular officer, the atto notorio is a sworn statement made this time before an Italian authority, stating that there are no legal impediments to the marriage under the US laws. Just like as the US consulate in Italy, American citizens are not required to provide any documents since they are swearing under their own responsibility. At this point, we move to the Italian municipality. The American couple will attend a short formal appointment at the town hall, where they personally declare their intention to marry and confirm that there are no legal impediments to their marriage, this time under the Italian law. Once these checks are completed, the municipality will authorize the priest who will celebrate the Catholic and legal wedding at the same time. This because in a matrimonio concordatario, the priest is not acting only as a religious minister. He is also acting on delegation from the Italian state. In fact, without this delegation, the ceremony would not produce legal effects. This document is signed by both spouses, the witnesses, and by the priest. Immediately after the ceremony, the priest prepares the official marriage act. One original of this act must be transmitted to the municipality. This transmission must take place within 5 days from the date of the ceremony. Once the municipality receives the act, it proceeds with a formal transcription in the civil register. At this point, your marriage is legally valid in Italy, but to use it in the United States, a specific process must be followed. Once the marriage certificate is issued by the municipality, the first step is to obtain the apostille by the competent Prefettura. The apostille certifies that this public document is recognized by other member countries of the Hague Convention, of which the United States is a party. After that, we locate a translator who will translate the document from Italian to English through the so-called asseverazione. The asseverazione is a formal declaration through which the translator swears before a court official that the translation is accurate and true. At this point, the translation itself becomes a legal document. For this reason, a second apostille must be placed on the sworn translation. This second apostille is issued by the competent public prosecutor and applies specifically to the sworn translation. This entire process allows your marriage to be fully used in the United States for any legal purpose. So before making any decision, you need to be clear on one point: whether you want a Catholic marriage only or a Catholic marriage that is also legally valid both in Italy and in the United States. Thank you for watching this video, and if you're planning a Catholic wedding in Italy and you're not sure about the path to follow, feel free to reach out. If you would like to learn more about the matrimonial property regime after the wedding, you'll find a dedicated link in the description along with a link to our contact form. Thank you, and we look forward to welcoming you to Italy.